ಈ ಬ್ಯಾನರ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಆಯಿತು.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ಅವಾಗಲೇ ಐತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಬ್ಯಾನರ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಬ್ಯಾನರ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ತಾನೆ ಈಗ. ಓಕೆ,
ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಬಂತಂತ.
ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಬಂತಾ? ಹಾಂ ಓಕೆ, ಬಂದಿರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್. ಸರಿ, ಏನಾದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಡ್.
Two rows, that is for faculty, so please come and occupy the front rows. Fast, it is for faculties, for placement coordinators, those 2 rows are for. Please come and occupy the front rows.
ಹಲೋ,
ಹಲೋ, ಮೈಕ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಹೊಂಟದ್ರಿ.
Hello. Last benchers, am I audible? Audible? Yes or no? It's audible? Hello. Hello, hello. 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 Hello, hello. Good morning to one and all present here. Myself, Dr. Ashwini from Department of AML, JNNCE, and I'm very happy to walk you through today's event, that is pre-placement talk from Team TCS. First of all, I request all the dignitaries to come on stage and occupy their seats. I request our Director Placement, Mr. Tejasvi Kattimani, to escort the dignitaries. Yeah.
For the time being, okay, I'll hold
So you can keep it here only.
That's okay.
Dear students, there is a saying that your education is just a dress rehearsal for the life that is yours to lead. So these 3 years in this institute, you have acquired knowledge, developed plenty of skills, and now it's time to put these skills to test in the real world. And you're fortunate enough because for you, first opportunity is provided by one of the global leading technological company, TCS. JNNCE shares a long-lasting association with TCS, and we are privileged to have this opportunity to engage with one of the leading tech giant. With this background, let us begin today's event, and as per tradition, now I request Ms. Pradna, 7th semester AML student, to for the invocation song.
गानप्रिये देवी करुणामयी कादम्बरी अम्बा कात्यायनी गानप्रिये देवी करुणामयी कादम्बरी अम्बा कात्यायनी भुवनेश्वरी अम्बा जगन्मोहिनी भुवनेश्वरी अम्बा जगन्मोहिनी श्रीचक्रवासिनी नारायणी श्रीचक्रवासिनी नारायणी गानप्रिये देवी करुणामयी कादम्बरी अम्बा कात्यायनी हरिवल्लभे शुभदायिनी हरिवल्लभे शुभदायिनी ओंकाररूपिणी नारायणी ओंकाररूपिणी नारायणी गानप्रिये देवी करुणामयी कादम्बरी अम्बा कात्यायनी कादम्बरी अम्बा कात्यायनी कादम्बरी अम्बा कात्यायनी थैंक यू
Thank you, Pradna. It's time to welcome the dignitaries and introduce them to the gathering. I now request Mr. Tejasvi Kattimani, Director, Department of Training and Placement, JNNCE, to welcome the gathering.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, it gives me immense pleasure to extend a warm and hearty welcome to all gathered here for the TCS pre-placement talk for the 2020-27 outgoing batch at JNN College of Engineering, Shumaga. Now it is my privilege to formally welcome our distinguished guest. I request our respected principal, Dr. Y. Vijay Kumar sir, to kindly present bouquets as a token of our respect and gratitude to the esteemed delegates from TCS. We are deeply honored to welcome the distinguished delegations from Tata Consultancy Services. So firstly, I would like to welcome Mr. Chiranjib Adak, Business Technology Solution Delivery Head. Welcome you, sir. At the same time, I also welcome Mr. Praveen Chandran V, Regional Head, Academic Alliances, Karnataka State. Welcome you, sir. I also welcome Mr. Preetham K, Delivery Manager, Tech Software Services. Welcome you, sir. I also welcome Mr. Sanjay, Regional Campus Recruiter, TCS, Bangalore. Welcome you, sir. Thank you, sir. At the same time, I also welcome our Honorable Principal, Dr. Y. Vijay Kumar, sir, for this pre-placement talk. Welcome you, sir. I also take a great pleasure in welcoming our HODs of various departments, placement coordinators of various departments, and my dear students. On behalf of the management, I wholeheartedly welcome all of you for this TCS pre-placement talk. As you know that TCS has long been a symbol of innovation, excellence, and global leadership in the technology sector. For our students, this interaction is much more than a pre-placement session. It is an opportunity to learn from industry leaders, understand current trends, and prepare themselves for rewarding careers. I am confident that today's session will provide valuable insights into the recruitment process, industry expectations, emerging technologies, and the exciting career opportunities available at TCS. To our dear students, I encourage you to take the best use of this opportunity by actively participating, listening carefully, and engaging with the speakers. Once again, I extend a heartfelt welcome to our esteemed dignitaries, respected TCS delegates, faculty members, and students. I wish this pre-placement talk a grand success. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I take this opportunity to formally welcome Mr. Tejasvi Kattimani, Director, Department of Training and Placement for this event. Students, today, along with this pre-placement talk, we are formally inaugurating the placement season for batch 2027 with prayers to Almighty for bright future and abundant opportunities for our students. Now I request all the dignitaries on the dais to light the ceremonial lamp to mark the beginning of this journey. Thank you, everyone. It's time to listen to our leader, under whose able guidance JNNCE continues its journey of excellence. I now invite our beloved principal, Dr. Y. Vijay Kumar, sir, to address the gathering, share his thoughts and best wishes with our students.
Good morning. Very, very warm welcome to everyone. And today, especially, it is a festival in JNNCE campus, and it is one of the much awaited activity in the campus towards academic excellence. I thank everyone for taking so much serious and academically prepared, and then you have come to listen. Today, my sincere request is, as placement director has said that, please listen to the speakers, resource persons, understand the meaning of the each sentence. If you have any clarity, just before coming here, we were having a small talk with all your heads of the departments. The more you ask the questions, the more you get clarifications today. That is the better for the JNNC as well as the TCS to have a wonderful relationship in the coming days. Whatever doubts you have, whether it may be silly doubts or it may be the thing, put it in a right format and get the clarification. All the way, the 4 executives have come to the JNNC Shimoga yesterday and stayed today and wants to clarify a lot of doubts so that tomorrow there should not be any one. Because once if you get a complete clarity, automatically 100% you will become clear in the process. Keeping this in mind, now already we have given a lot of information about your batch, about institution, about academic activities of the institution and everything. And then I wholeheartedly even inaugurate the first placement season activity of this 2027 batch. Have a wonderful time. We all will have one. But one my sincere request for everyone is, since JNNC is a priority institution of a TCS, please keep that in mind and then we will work together. And TCS executives also are supporting us, and clearly they mentioned in the morning to achieve the academic excellence in the campus. Yes, sir, we are there with you on that. In the coming days, there will be a lot of relationship related activities. It may be towards the hackathons, it may be towards giving lectures, or it may be towards anything which you want for going very close to the industry. Now, without wasting much time, we listen to the talk and we listen to the resource persons, and there is a small time gap is there for the real exercise, and by that time I think you get a complete thing. Okay? All the best. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's now time to proceed to the main agenda of today's event, pre-placement talk. Now I request Team TCS to commence with their pre-placement talk.
So while the team is putting up the PowerPoint presentation, the way we have structured this is to kind of give you a feel of where the industry is and how technology is playing a role. I'll spend as much as time as possible to ensure that instead of covering about TCS, I try to contextualize that for you in terms of what is in it for you, right? My humble request, please keep your questions ready, right? Because it's very difficult for me to figure out what might be going on in your mind, right? The last time I was in this place, I joined TCS back in 1997. None of you are born then, right? So this is my 29th year with the company. I joined from Delhi College of Engineering. But today it is all about you. Just that one-liner introduction basically is to give you a feeling that I'm one of you. The second part is, as soon as I came into this campus, 2 things hit me. One, you guys have a fabulous campus. It's pretty large, right? The football field size that you have here probably is what Delhi College of Engineering campus used to be back when it was in the Kashmiri Gate area of Old Delhi. Now it's much bigger a campus outside of Delhi. The second thing that hit me is your professors telling us how grateful they are. In fact, it is the other way around. Uh, it is these erudite professors who become the beacon of wisdom and intelligence and care that they are building the future of the nation, which essentially is you. 20 years down the line, you will probably be part of some senior management in TCS or somewhere else. But fundamentally, you guys will be shaping the future of this nation. So today I'm not making a presentation. It is my solemn duty to ensure that whatever I have learned over these years and whatever I see the future is, I paint that picture for you to better appreciate where you are getting into, right? Oh yeah. So first the technology part has to be fixed. So see, right from your classes to YouTube and the news that you see, I think artificial intelligence is all over. And the reason why I say right from your classes is because your professors just told me that you have departments on AI ML, you have departments on data science, you have departments on robotics. So they essentially looked at this entire elephant of AI and looked at it from different angles and created a lot of interesting disciplines out of it. So your job is going to be not only to understand the fundamentals, but also to kind of piece it together. Now, TCS, see, for you to operate in an environment, there has to be a mission and a vision and a mechanism of coming ahead in the marketplace is concerned, right? So this is our promise. We want to be the world's largest AI-led technology services company. And the way we do it is via the lens of innovation, talent, and AI-powered transformation. Now, the question is, yeah, that's a company messaging. What is in it for me? So let me kind of try to explain you via the next few slides. If we could move on to the next slide. Just tap only once. So this might represent the 5 pillars of how we do the AI transformation, but I want you to start internalizing it because it is important for you to understand what it means to you. So the way that we look at this space is, over the years, I mean, we have been there in the industry for more than 50 years now, right? And over the years, we have seen multiple cycles of business and technology that came in, right? We had the mainframes, then the dot-com, and then the mobile, the internet, and then mobile, and now we have the AI, right? In true sense, and then you have the generative AI as well that came in. Now, okay, does it work? Okay, it works. Fine, I'll do that. tip in the finger. Okay. So, the first and foremost thing that we ought to keep in mind is whenever there is a new technology, how do we as a company and you as an individual embrace this technology, right? That's the first thing. And hence we have this whole notion of TCS to the power of AI. That means every function of TCS, be it hiring, talent engagement, and I'll talk about it, what I mean by talent engagement when we come a little later, be it finance and procurement and all the enterprise functions, including the ERP system that runs the entire company, right from legal and all those things. It's all in one portal, big portal. It handles sales, it handles delivery, it handles marketing, all functions that you can think of. And by the way, I had joined TCS that time, this ERP system didn't exist. It came back in 2000. So how do we ensure that we embrace AI in all of those? And the reason for doing that is because we want it to be our customer zero. So when we go back and tell the customers that the efficacy or the effectiveness of a generative AI tool is so much, we are pretty clear it is not exaggeration, it is not compression. It's fairly accurate because we know we have learned it that way. So this function or this pillar is run by our Chief Information Officer as well as the Chief Learning Officer, JNNCE Santhanam. And he wants to ensure that AI is a part of everything that we do in TCS. So that's the pillar number one. The pillar number two is this whole notion of Tata consultancy services. Services happens to be a significant part of our business, right? It's almost 98% of our business. Remaining is products and platforms. And hence, it is the services part that has to be reimagined. How we do application development, support, quality engineering, infrastructure services, business process services, all of these essentially gets reimagined and revitalized with AI and generative AI in place. And remember one thing, whenever you hear the word AI, you essentially think there is a predictive part of AI, which is the original AI that you heard. Then there is a generative aspect of AI, and the third one is the agentic aspect of AI, right? These three. And the fundamental interplay of how these things are thoughtfully embedded is what is the second plank all about. And you might or might not have noticed there is a separate division within TCS which runs as a horizontal for all industries that takes care of this particular part of reimagination. So when you learn the theory in the college and do some projects, the interesting part is when you get into the projects or environment, you will get to be a part of that transformation. 10 years ago, when you enter an environment where everything is steady state and every time you are learning. This will be a case where whatever you have learned, you can actually apply because everybody in the company is also learning these new things, right? The only difference is they know the domain, they know the technology, they know the way of customer, how they work, they know the different nuances of the different geographies, be it North America, Latin America, Europe, UK, APAC, India, all of them, right? So that's the second part, how the way of working with customers, that changes. The third pillar is centrally focused on talent. See, one of the things that TCS has always believed in as compared to any of our other peer firms is that it is always about legacy technologies, never about legacy people, right? So people don't become legacy and outdated. In a lot of companies, you will see a revolving door. They will allow a few exits and then they will acquire a few companies, but that is not how we have built. Most of our talent build out is by training existing people, and that's important for you to know. There is a separate chart that I will share once some HR folks talk in between, and I'll share it at the end so that you get a feel how scientifically we have looked at the career aspect of it. So the pillar number 3 is solely focused on you. Once you get to the company, you will get to see the kind of certifications, the programs, the learning paths, and all of those things that are available to you. And I'll talk about it a little later. Pillar number 4 is the trickiest one, in my opinion, which is making AI real for customers. Now, if you pick up any YouTube video or pick up a video from Jensen Huang from NVIDIA, Satya Nadella from Microsoft, any of these guys, they essentially talk about fairly easy use cases, right? Some will come and tell you Paris Hilton has created an app so anybody can create, right? That you don't need a coding thing. You can create a website in no time. But in reality, when you look at existing enterprises, you don't do so much greenfield work, right? A lot of banks and retail companies are just not building new portals. They have to take care of their existing things, right? And that's where the complexity comes. It's very easy to build something from scratch, very difficult to paint an existing elephant white, right? And this is the reason why your learning that you're bringing from the college, the learning that you will get once you join TCS, the learning that you get when you hear your seniors who are there in the same project, all of those things put together helps you actually apply AI. So whenever we look at this particular space, two things emerge. Number one, how do you do things differently? So there is a specific way of doing things, and now that changes with AI being there, right? So if a customer servicing rep is talking to you on a call center phone call that you've called up for some query, the technology can help that person summarize the entire call conversation, for instance, right? So that's a notion of what you can do differently. But transformation is also about the second thing, which is do different things. The easiest example, instead of picking any recent one, I'll go back 15 years ago, when the whole notion of remote deposit of checks by clicking a picture through your mobile came into being. It would not have been possible unless your mobile phone had a camera and a bank had a secure app to ensure that the image is securely transferred to the bank. And the image is high-res enough for bank to underwrite that instead of waiting for a physical check to deposit that money in your account, right? So the whole notion is that how do these interesting technologies get essentially applied? And by the way, as I promised to you in the beginning, in this PPT there are some videos for you to actually immerse yourself and get a sense of what we are doing, right? The fifth thing is, you would have realized by now from your professors that AI is a multi-layered cake, right? You have energy at the bottom, the chip layer, then you have the models, LLMs and SLMs and all of those things that gets built out. Then you have the applications on top, and then finally you have the intelligence. Intelligence is in form of the conversational UI that you tend to get, the ChatGPT UI or Claude UI, any of those UI that you interact with, or Notebook LLM from Google or any of those, right? So these are the multi-layered cake. And whenever you are operating in an environment like that, you cannot assume that all the smart cookies are working for your company, and we ought to work with partners. So our fifth pillar focuses on what we call as an ecosystem. And it has three parts. One, there will be some capabilities that we need to acquire. So you might or might not have seen that we have acquired two companies in the Salesforce space. And the reason being that we felt agentic AI is picking up, and Salesforce with its agentic capabilities is a good addition to the mix, because end of the day, lot of these frontline capabilities will get replaced, and Salesforce is the critical player there, right? So that was buy. Second is partner. When the cloud came in, all of the companies like us partnered with all the hyperscalers, right? Google, Microsoft, and then Azure, and then, of course, AWS from Amazon. We also had a few like IBM, that their cloud strategy is a little wavy, and then we had Oracle, which came late into the game. But that was just one part of it, hyperscalers. But then you have now several big techs which are in the play. So we have partnership with NVIDIA. NVIDIA also happens to be our client. You saw a colleague of yours, a gentleman who introduced themselves to be from the tech software services, right? He's also your college alumni who was in this college till 2010, and he joined TCS from there. And NVIDIA happens to be one of that tech SS customers, right? We also have customers who are, ABB and a few others. We also have partnerships with OpenAI. We have partnership with Claude, Anthropic, and we have few more partnerships that are going to come by. So the question is, I mean, what is the partnership of, let's say, OpenAI? I'm just giving an example. There also you have three parts, right? Of course, the coding assistant, that becomes a critical one for within TCS. The conversational capability of OpenAI, that becomes a critical part for across Tata Group companies, okay? And the third is their partnership into our endeavor, which is the third track here. TCS has also launched AI data center business, right? Which we call as TCS HyperVault. And the reason for doing that is, as you can imagine, AI is a compute hog, right? And one of the terminologies that you might have heard in your classes is sovereign AI, right? So let me step back a little, and I wanted to spend a little bit more time on this slide simply because it has a lot of messages to be given to you, which is going to be beneficial for you. This has been an interesting year. At the start of year, we had Davos, and in case you are wondering what is Davos, every year, lot of politicians, business leaders, authors, everybody get together in a place called Davos in Switzerland, and they get to discuss a lot of these latest topics and plan for the future. So you essentially have a flavor of the year. Some years ago it was sustainability and save the planet and things of that nature. This year it was a mix of course, AI, and then there was this fun thing about Trump and talking about Greenland, and all of those things were going on, right? In case you have not do a Google on Davos, you'll see a lot of YouTube videos on them. And you might want to see a few, let's say speech by Jensen Huang or an interview by Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of JP Morgan. So different aspects. Now, the reason why I called that out is AI was a significant component there. Then came our budget, India budget that gets presented, right? In the budget, we always talked about Atmanirbhar Bharat. But one of the critical things was not that we want to do everything by ourselves, but actually we want to move up the value chain of doing everything by ourselves as well. So let me give an example. Chip is a critical part of the AI, right? Now let's break it up. If $100 gets spent on the chip itself, the first is the design of the chip. Agreed? That's NVIDIA. And that's where the maximum value extraction happens, right? Once you design the chip, you need a machine to fabricate it. That's an East European company which makes that machine. That's the second layer. Third is actual fabrication of the chip, which is famous TSMCs of the world, right, in Taiwan. That's why Taiwan is so sensitive about this. And fourth thing is you have to test the chip, right? So India has traditionally played a role in testing part. The good news is it needs a lot of people. The not so good news is it does not capture enough value because most of the value is in the design and then the fab. We just can't create that machine that easily. It's not that easy, right? Otherwise, you do not be one company making that machine. So the point remains is there is a significant thrust on fabrication. That's why you probably heard or not heard Tata Electronics and a few other companies are getting into this chip manufacturing in a significant way, right? Fabrication part in a significant way. The whole idea is, while I capture the high volume work because we have a large workforce to address, I also want to capture the high value part of it, right? So that's the reason I wanted to spend a little bit more time on this. And that's aggregating all of those things together, essentially you get into AI data center business. Because traditionally TCS has not done data center business when the data center business was without cloud. Then when cloud came in, then we got into the data center business, but AI data center is a significant one. And we not only have it in India, we also have in Europe as well. And I'm sure it's going to go in other countries as well. Because the notion of sovereign AI, wherein, I'm not sure if you've heard this, the Prime Minister said, as a country, I don't want to export information to import intelligence. So that means I want to keep the entire data, processing and intelligence of it so that you can do value-added services on top of it, all within the country, right? And the step towards that you have seen in the space of payments. That's why we have much faster payments than even US. US is still stuck with checks, by the way, right? They are doing faster payments, and we have had faster payments for quite some time, right? You have IMPS, you have NEFT, all of those things have now become reasonably fast because NEFT, it goes immediately. It is no more that it is getting batched. Of course, there is batching as well, but it still is fairly real time. So the point remains is that you ought to first embrace the technology and understand the nuances of that in enterprise, which is the pillar number 1. Pillar number 2, look at everything that you do for the clients and reimagine that. Pillar number 3, invest the heck out of it to students like you who join the company later on. Pillar number 4, apply all the things that you have learned and then make it real for the customers so that AI becomes real. And then the pillar number 5, actually play in the ecosystem, right? So that's the reason why it slipped off. Just press key. Leave it. Let me see if I can control. Okay. You ought to have control. That's the whole thing I was talking about. You have to be sovereign in your own presentations as well. So that's why you see this 1 gigawatt data center business, and it's a very significant one because every 200 megawatt essentially costs $1 billion, right? Our patent numbers that you see there is only on AI patents, by the way. The real patent numbers are more than 6,000. We currently have 568,000 employees trained in JNNCE. The total employee strength is around 580,000. And annualized revenue on AI is around 2.3 billion. This is out of our 30 plus billion revenue. Now, the question is, what is in it for me? Each of these boxes has a certain view of what is in it for me. There are few companies which can talk about 35% plus women employees. I mean, everybody will give you a ratio, but there is no company on the planet today who can come and claim something that we had done. 15 years ago, we set up the first all-women delivery center in the Middle East. All-women delivery center in the Middle East. 15 years ago. When it was set up, the women there did not have the license to even drive, right? So this was done in collaboration with TCS, General Electric, and the government. And the team still exists there, flourishing. The second part is a significant amount of investment that we make on the research and development. Your professors talked about startup partners, right? We have been working with startup partners for more than 20 years. We have a very curated program to identify which is the next one, either based on industries. So one thing that I forgot to talk about, which probably you all know, is companies like TCS are verticalized, right? So we have banking, financial services, insurance as one vertical. You have telecom communications as another vertical. You have retail and transportation as another vertical. You have manufacturing as another vertical. So there are multiple such verticals which are there. And of course, technology or high-tech software services as another vertical. In the transport area, essentially we work with hotels and airlines and airports and everything, right? I didn't want to get into our clientele business, but if there are questions, I'll address that. The other part is around competencies. So we have a platform called iEvolve, and the name really is that, iEvolve. What it does is, let's say you put your current role, you put your future or desired role, and your supervisor approves that, yeah, you want to be there, right? The system automatically calculates the different possible learning paths you can take. Some of those learning paths might be in-house classroom sessions. Some of it might be external certifications. Some of it might be, do-it-yourself kind of things. And once you clear those certifications, all of that expense is reimbursed. So this is driven by the system. It is not driven by, oh, you have to talk to your supervisors, you have to talk to your friends to find what's the best way that I move from one role to another, right? I talked about our partnerships with different companies. This is an extremely small list. Now the question is, okay, TCS has partners, so what? So let me explain the so what part of it. Whenever we have partnerships, there are 2 or 3 things that happens, right? One is our alliance team is on the top of them trying to understand what kind of new product offerings that they are trying to bring in. So we have labs to do beta testing of those products. So essentially, before even launch, you get to know what they are doing. So that's number 1. Number 2, these companies actually do certifications for us, so you can get certified before even getting into that kind of a project, right? So that's what is in it for you. Some of it is funded by TCS, some of it is funded by the partner. The third is, sometimes when customer brings a problem, you might have to solution with things that you can build, but also you might have to stitch some solutions. Not everything has to be built, right? I know generally AI gives you that capability, but still there is enough software as a service capabilities that are out there which you can use to stitch things together, right? And integrate it. So that's why this small list, but much bigger a list which exists behind them, more than 2,000 plus partnership, is important for you. Now, I promised you some videos, but what happens is AI gets applied in different industries. And we have picked up a few industries which will be very close to you, be it electrical, be it mechanical, be it retail, all of those. Because it might be very difficult for you to suddenly imagine what is going on in capital markets, because investment banking is not necessarily a course that has been taught here, right? So earlier this year, some of you might know that there was a big AI symposium in Delhi, right? Where a lot of prime ministers, CEOs, everybody came here. So TCS went along with the entire Tata group and we had our own booth, right? So I'm going to showcase a few things that we have showcased to the public there. So one is an interesting retail experience as to how we are using technology to reimagine the way we will engage with customers. Second, I heard a lot about mechanical engineering here and you guys designing vehicles and stuff like that. So we'll touch upon that. You might also know that Jaguar Land Rover happens to be one of the Tata Group companies. It is a big customer for us. We have people who not only work on the AI, edge AI work for those high performance machines, but we also folks who do fine tuning as well, right? The third is the work that we have done with some museums, and hence we call it timeless traditions. Fourth is interesting way of looking at how we can repair things on the railway side. And fifth is autonomous driving. So let's go through one by one. We have not shared with the sound. Sorry, it was not supposed to be a mime movie. There is real sound. I want you to hear it out.
Hi Hi Shreya, how can I assist you today in the store?
I would need some healthy options for breakfast. AI is no longer behind the scenes. It's part of everyday life, from what we eat to what we wear. Welcome to the store of the future, powered by intelligence and designed for a smarter India.
Shreya, for a healthy breakfast, you might like Tata Soulful Masala Oats. They're nut-free. You can pair them with Organic India Quinoa for a protein boost.
This is quite cool. So if AI can understand what fuels your body, what if AI could also understand your personal sense of style? Let's check out another cool feature here, the virtual try-on.
Stand in front of the camera, click a picture, and then the algorithm will understand your body type, your fit, all of that, and based on this, it will give you the recommendations from the store inventory itself.
Nice one. This is retail reimagined. Not just smarter stores, but smarter experiences. This is intelligence in action.
You might see this as a recent 1 year ago development, but almost 10 years ago, what we had done for one of the US retailers was, look, now you have all these fast fashions, right? So essentially, whenever you buy something, it goes out of fashion, and then it's getting into a issue where all these things get dumped, right? You might not know, but the biggest dumping ground of the world where fast fashion goes to die is a desert in Chile called Atacama. And the reason why they dump it there is because it's the driest place on the planet. There have been spaces where it has not seen rains for centuries, right? And what we had done for this retailer was essentially whenever we create an app for them, yeah, you do that. But the whole idea was, let's say you were trying to buy a dress, right? And if you take a picture of the dress, it can actually tell you if you have similar dresses already there and what other combinations you can do so that you can defer your purchase decision, right? So the whole idea was, could we have a much more reasonable choice of dressing and also a circular economy? We had also worked on, how do you recycle dresses and stuff like that. I mean, there are recycling machines which are there, which can, take in a new dress, shred it apart, and then create a brand new one for things to be sold, resold. So that was one thing that I wanted to share. Second thing is about mobility, and we really take a lot of pride because we have cut our teeth through with GM, with Tata Motors, with Jaguar Land Rover, and you can imagine some of these high-performing machines because they actually take part in Formula One. And we also have the same in EV form as well. And to design such a vehicle out of carbon fiber and have split-second decisions, it's really awesome.
Starting journey from airport to Bharat Mandapam.
TCS, DriveSphere brings to life the concept of autonomous driving, all the way from simple automation, personalization, and feature development to complete driverless capability, all the way from infrastructure upwards to intelligence. Our partners today contribute both from the chipset side, from driving scenario generation and testing capabilities to frameworks, data integration, and app development. Not only are we infusing AI into the core product features, but we are also using it to drive home the innovation cycle. The whole idea to bringing to market features that would have taken months or sometimes years in a matter of weeks. And that is going to create a huge differentiation for the OEMs who work with us in incorporating these capabilities into the engineering process.
See, all these pavilions that you see essentially are pictures from the Delhi event as well, right? Now, again, you might wonder, well, is this a latest one? Yes, it's a year-old or year-and-a-half old solution that you are seeing because we can't show you stale ones. So let me take you 10 years ago, 15 years ago to be precise, 2010. Our robotics lab in Kochi created their own autonomous vehicle. And you know what they did? I mean, everybody now knows about Tesla, so they know how the autonomous vehicle looks like. I was just telling my colleagues that my boss who lives in Toronto, he drives a Tesla, so I have actually seen that whole thing in action. And if you, let's say, driving in a normal mode, it doesn't change lanes too many times. You want to put aggressive mode, it will really start changing lanes and take you there, right? And I have seen that in action in fairly crowded roads, by the way. Now, in case of TCS, internal lab, some of you might know that Tata Motors used to have a product called Tata Nano, a very small car, right? The interesting part of Nano was the engine was at the back, not in the front, which essentially made it a prime candidate that you can actually use it, put all the sensors and cameras and so many things you can load in the front. And that was used to create the first autonomous vehicle experimentation within TCS. That's 2010. Now the question is, why did we do that? Because we are not in the business of selling autonomous vehicles, right? We're not. See, you have to understand, whenever you invest on a technology, you invest on the concept. So if you look at autonomous vehicles, the concept is fundamentally not just about sensors and other things. It's about machine awareness, ambient awareness, and something we used to call as computer vision, right? The same computer vision solution now we took to even do ATM testing. So what I mean by that, just imagine if you have to create a robot to test ATMs. So essentially you punch in a lot of test cases to see how the ATMs are working or not. Instead of putting human beings there because it's supposed to be boring, you can put robots. Now if you use regular robots, then you have to feed it in a way that the buttons are fixed, right, on ATMs. Now, ATMs also come with digital screens, and the screens could be scrambled, right? Because screen positions might not be the same in different kind of ATMs. If you yourself walk around in the marketplace, you will see different kind of ATM companies which are there, right? So that means you need a computer vision solution for the robot to actually see the screen and understand the screen instead of thinking about coordinates. You cannot tell them, and that this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and here is an enter button. That makes it like a hard coding, right? So those are the kind of solutions that were able to evolve here. And then the same thing was evolved even for, let's say you create a soft robot to even keep an eye on what you call as command center. So that means all your servers, you are watching them, you are looking at if any server is getting into trouble, you need to take it out of rotation. So the green, amber, red, those kind of things the robots can also look at. So you essentially are using a technology to prove out something else. And then again, some of these things were done ages ago. Now, this is something that we are sentimental. This is not about making a lot of money.
I honestly thought this was a painting. Look at the details, shading, the expressions. Well, it's not painted on canvas. This is woven by hand, and it is extraordinary. This is where tradition meets technology. Let's discover how AI is empowering our weavers.
Weaving is the second largest occupation in India next to farming. Indian handloom forms an integral part of our rich heritage. And there are about 130 unique weaving styles in India, but still it is a dying art today, with many of the younger generations not picking up as their career. The young generation is moving away from handloom simply because it takes so much time to master, to earn enough livelihood. Fashion is fast. And with power looms, you can make 4 to 5 sarees a day And a handloom weaver makes a sari in a minimum of 4 to 5 days. With the help of AI, we are minimizing the time it takes from concept to a weave-ready design, that they can visualize with the help of 3D and AR as to how the fabric will look like even before it's woven. With Bridgetal Loom, we are bridging the gap and empowering lives with AI.
What this video doesn't tell you is an interesting thing. And by the way, I don't belong to any of these industries. I'm from banking, financial services, insurance. But I just wanted to pick up things which will excite you. You have seen the sari designs, right? The interesting part here is, you know what? You can actually give to the weaver pictures of your life. Let's say your sari can actually tell a story of your career, about your family, anything. So you are literally giving a design and the sari comes out as per the design. So all that weavings, all the pictures that you give will come like that, right? And one of the saris was presented as a part of our exposition to Adobe CEO as well, right? Now, the point here is that how can technology be for good? I'll give you one more example which doesn't exist in the video. In a lot of places, yeah, I think it's quite warm. In a lot of places, let's say you have to teach people welding, right? Now it's an expensive one. If you are teaching it in a factory, it's fine. But in India, there are a lot of small business entities. They cannot spend so much time in teaching people how to weld, right? Because it has to be done on a straight line, and those welding machines and electricity, everything is expensive. So we even had created them an app and a prod where they can practice that on an iPad, the welding, how steady your hand can be. So there are several such. We have created several drones for several things, including drones for looking at forest fire, looking at health of the forest, looking at health of the animals in the forest, looking at possible bridge damages, right? Instead of actually sending people, you can send those drones with high resolution cameras. All of those things are possible today.
Wabtec's Kinetics inspection technologies delivers the next generation of automated rolling stock and infrastructure monitoring, inspection, and maintenance optimization. Leveraging industry-proven Bina Vision and Track IQ innovation, Wabtec has developed the most comprehensive suite of wayside asset monitoring solutions for freight and passenger rail. Kinetics inspection technologies' enhanced insights are produced by integrating multiple vision, acoustic, and sensor technologies combined with AI-driven analytics in a robust and ruggedized system with built-in redundancy. Machine vision systems utilizing optical character recognition, line scan technology for high accuracy, Bayesian image processing to create rich 3D models, acoustic sensors to detect state change, vibration sensors to detect wear and degradation, infrared technology to identify thermal anomalies. Together, these technologies provide non-contact proactive monitoring of rail assets, including rail cars, yard inventory, crossings, track, and locomotives. And with proven performance in the harshest rail environments, Kinetics Inspection Technologies is the industry benchmark asset inspection and analytics solution for freight, heavy haul, and transit applications. Around 400 installations worldwide. Wabtec's Kinetics Inspection Technologies, delivering operational outcomes that matter.
Let me go to the last one as well, but I also wanted to cover something that touches everybody, which is around healthcare.
So much emerging technology is just a show, so one can be forgiven for not being able to distinguish fact from fiction. Take this car, for example. Can it drive autonomously or not?
The short answer is absolutely.
That was Shweta Shrivastava, Senior Product Lead for Driving Behavior at Waymo.
What you're looking at is the Waymo driver in action. Adapted for a variety of vehicle platforms, it is the most advanced, fully autonomous driving technology in the world today.
What you notice pretty quickly is that these aren't normal vehicles. Take this Jaguar I-Pace, for example. It's been equipped with an elegant array of sensors and software, which allows it to move through the city on its own.
That's correct. The Waymo driver is a combination of custom-designed hardware and software that is responsible for performing the entire act of driving.
That was James Philbin. He's an engineering lead on the perception team at Waymo. I asked him to break down the technology for us a bit more.
The Waymo driver handles the task of driving in 3 basic steps: sense, solve, and go. It's the way we describe the highly complex process of acquiring information, processing it, and moving through the world safely.
So, what goes into all that sensing?
The sensors that the Waymo driver uses are incredibly powerful, using a combination of LiDAR, cameras, and radar. It can see up to 3 football fields in any direction and can detect sirens from emergency vehicles, which allows the Waymo driver to visualize the world around it in milliseconds to a high degree of accuracy.
Okay, sense makes sense. But what do you do with all that data?
Good question. The system calculates the predicted future behavior for each relevant agent in the scene. Then, with a strong foundation derived from artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms, the Waymo driver crunches all that data and calculates a safe route, while responding in real time to the evolving traffic environment.
If I understand correctly, this means the Waymo driver continues to learn as it goes, is trained and tested on scenarios that it's never seen before, and can differentiate safe and comfortable driving behaviors from hazardous and uncomfortable ones.
Yes, well done.
Why, thank you. The final step in the Sense, Solve, Go methodology is perhaps the most straightforward. Go.
Once the Waymo driver has determined the path to take, our advanced motion control systems allow for smooth acceleration and braking on hilly streets, or managing bumper-to-bumper traffic with safe and natural driving movements.
So it's really here, right now in cities. Not smoke and mirrors, but true autonomous driving technology. Waymo is taking what was once futuristic sci-fi and making it non-fiction. And like all great technology, all that number crunching, all that data just fades into the background. And you realize the dream of riding in a fully autonomous vehicle to your favorite dinner spot isn't just a vision of the future. It's actually happening right now.
So Waymo also, some of you who read on this new fintechs has been there in the industry as early as 2013, and they are also a very good partner for us. So these are all cool startups. Look, in my opinion, anytime soon we are not going to see these things in Bangalore, right? Or any of these populous Indian cities. I fundamentally believe the space where AI is going to make a significant difference is healthcare and life sciences. When I say healthcare, I really mean patient care and everything around it, right? The pharmacies of the world. And when I mean life sciences, I mean drug discovery, right? Just to give you a sense, and I don't have the healthcare thing here, you might think we hire engineers from different divisions and disciplines. What you don't know that we have more than 600 doctors on payroll as well. And they're real doctors, by the way. Neurologists, ortho, cardio. So let me give you a few quick view of what's happening in the healthcare space. Number one, any of you raise your hand if you have heard this concept of digital twin? Good. So, the whole notion of digital twin has been to twin a process or a system to see how it will behave before you actually try to do it, right? Just imagine a scenario that you could actually view the entire open heart surgery before you actually having to do the open heart surgery. Now open heart surgery has become quite normal, so you don't need that, but there are several such situations that can happen. For instance, a turbine repair. Before sending an expensive person to that turbine which needs a shutdown and all of that, you could look at some of those things. Now, in TCS, we had actually worked with, you at least know that we sponsor a very significant number of marathons across the world, right? Within India and abroad. And we had actually created a digital twin of a heart for one of the leading marathoners. And the idea was to help her understand her performance and also understand where all she can improve on things, right? It is not just about finding out how well your heart is working. It's also about how to maximize without creating risks. So that was one thing I just wanted to call out. Second thing I wanted to call out was, in terms of patient care, two types of patients need a lot of long-term assistance. One, somebody who has a neurological related problem, which means that you have nervous issue, hands are shaking, whatever, right? Those kind of things. The second is orthopedic issues, right? Knee problem, difficulty in walking, back issues and all of that. Now just imagine the doctor has prescribed certain exercise to you, right? So let's say they try to find out, are you doing that exercise correctly? To do a squat, which means you just lean down, if you make a mistake, you are going to overload your joints, the knee joints, right? So how will the doctor know how well you are doing this? Well, we have an app for that, wherein the phone camera is able to really analyze your neuromuscular skeletal system, they analyze you in 3D, and when you are doing that exercise in front of the camera, it is able to find out how much errors you are putting and create that report for both you and the doctor, right? Now, for neurological things, there is like a game. I mean, there are several such examples. I'm giving you an example. Just imagine you have a lot of drum sets, right? And you are told that you are supposed to play a certain tune in a particular sequence, right? Now, if you are given those sticks, it has few things. One, you need to remember what sequence. You need to make those sounds. And hence, there is a lot of neuromuscular coordinations, right? Just by playing that game, and they will not give you a real drum. They will basically give you an iPad and then you just tap. Just by doing that, doctor is able to essentially see whatever exercises were given, are you improving? So there are a lot of cool stuff that is happening. I believe AI in future might actually reduce the overall time that today it takes a decade for creating a new drug. It might just reduce the drug discovery as well, right? So I just wanted to call out a few things. Ignite My Future. We work with a lot of, lot of you guys cracked your entrance exam and you were able to make it to a prestigious engineering college. Unfortunately, in India, the number of engineering colleges are much lesser, right? And as compared to the students or aspirants who are there. And then a particular day, it can go off. You might have done so many practice tests, but on that particular day, it has gone off and you could not get through. We have a separate Ignite program to ensure that folks who could not get into engineering but got into BSc graduates, right, actually are brought back into technology. So there is a 6 months intensive training for them to become visual engineers or web developers and creators of pretty new cool stuff, right? It was in this Ignite lab that sari design that you saw was conceived. So you can understand at what depth people are performing. Second bubble that you see there is something called Go IT. This is something that we do outside of India. What we essentially do in all this UK, continental Europe, North America, and other places is we encourage local students to pick up STEM courses, right? Because a lot of people there don't realize the kind of environment they are in. And Go IT essentially we designed those hackathons and engagement programs long ago. I mean, Go IT has been going on for 20, 25 years now. And those programs ensure that the students get to see what is possible, they get their hands on. Sometimes they come with their parents. Sometimes we do it clients with their kids, right? So fairly popular program that touches the society at large. Then there is something called WEP. It's Women Entrepreneurship Platform, right? I don't want to dwell much on that. You can Google and then see. But suffice to say that with AI in play, we'll have more Amuls of the world. I mean, if you look at it, Lijjat Papad, Amul, these are all success stories of women empowerment at one point of time, right? And I'm sure AI is going to open up avenues for more than that. There are a lot of youth employment programs, again, for those unfortunate part of the society. So, in particular, we are very proud to say that because the Tata Trust owns a big portion of our stake, 47 cents of every dollar earned essentially goes back to charity. So you have heard about cancer hospitals and so many other things. So our team from the life sciences and healthcare works very closely with all of those hospitals. There are solutions that we are working on to identify markers that can predetermine that this person is predisposed to probably develop cancer in future, right? That's a huge difference. So-and-so mother might have preterm delivery. Huge impact, right? So that is what we just wanted to call out. I would probably now hand over to our HR colleagues. Feel free to form some of your questions in your mind, and I'll come back to talk about a little bit on the career side. And then, of course, take all your questions.
Yeah, thanks, Chiranjeev. Yeah, so how did it go? Now, we will touch upon some of the HR things, and we also have here Preetham, who is one of the alumni of your college. He will also would like to share his experience. Yeah, so here let's start. See, this is something, we have few things at TCS. We call it as TCS Maitri. I think most of you here have some of the other talent, right? Either singing, dance, or so many other things. So TCS Maitri is one of the platforms, where you'll be able to showcase your talent. So that's one. I think once you are there, once you are in TCS, you'll come to know more about that. Then Fit for Life. I think Chiranjeev mentioned about we doing marathons. Then you can record your, maybe you go for a run every day. You want to record it. You you do yoga. A lot of fitness that you do. All those things can be recorded here, and a lot of things happen there. Right? Yeah. So. Yeah, these are the different, the awards that we have, the Delivery Excellence Award. How many of you heard of the Code Vita contest? Have anybody applied here for the Code Vita contest? Anyone here? Participated, heard of it? Okay. Right. Okay, we'll go to, yeah, Preetham, you want to just come, cover this? Yeah, over to Preetham to share his experience from campus to now. Yeah, Preetham, over to you.
Thank you, Praveen. Thank you, Praveen, sir. Good morning. Everyone awake? Yes? Can't hear you guys? Great. So, I'm Preetham, and I am an alumni of JNNCE. So, I was passed out in 2010. Okay. So almost 16 years back, I was sitting here when that time TCS placements officer came and showed the journey, how the TCS works. So that is the first place where you are sitting, the point number one, right? You're looking forward to work, do something for the company, for the nation, and for yourself, right? So once it is done, I think your placement officers, Tejasvi sir, and already you might have taken care how to crack the interviews or whatever the programs is there. So even we had a lot of programs that time. So after that, the online or the now what we call the NQT from the TCS, right? So that would happen, and after that your one-on-one or face-to-face interview would be done. Okay, so once that face-to-face interview is done, so then the next process, that is to train yourself to the corporate world. Okay, so there you will be learning a lot of things. It is not only about the technical skills which will be taught, it is about how you maintain yourself in the corporate world. It might be you are having the healthy habits, even how to hold the spoon properly in the corporate world. Everything will be taught there. Okay, and how to dress yourself, right? Not like how you spend time, or not like I mean, I have seen a lot of web series now. It is not like that, how the corporate world works. Okay, there is a discipline which is involved there. So you all will be trained to come up and put your work over there. Okay. So once that is training is done, and that is called the ILP, which is called Initial Learning Program. So it depends on your curricular also. Some might have 1 week of the ILP program, and some might have 2 months or 3 months of the program also. Okay, it is just to make you ready for the real world projects. Okay. So once the projects, the ILP is done, so you will be mapped to different locations based on the requirement of the company. So some might get Bangalore, some might get Mumbai, or anything, any part of India. Okay. So be ready to move out from the, I know many of might have been studying in Shumaga from long time, right? Maybe from childhood. So be ready to explore the world. Okay. So after that, once you are mapped, and you will be having a separate team, something called resource management group, which is called RMG. So they will be helping you based on your skills which you have developed or which is already there. So based on that, they will be mapping you for the projects. Okay. So you will be entering maybe your first project. I know, like once you go to your first project, right, that feeling is completely different. Okay. So many of you might feel like maybe connected towards your colleagues, your friends there, and there is no guarantee that you will find your ILP group or college friends there. It will be completely different. So you have to start exploring, making new friends, making new colleagues over there. Try to learn from your seniors, managers over there, what is good, how best you can do it there. So as much as possible, learn there. So starting maybe from 1 to 4 years, you have to just learn. Okay, learn, implement. And there is something, a concept called unlearn and learn. How many have heard it? Unlearn and learn? No one? Okay, good. I could see 2-3 hands there. So every project would be requiring something new, which you might have not have learned in the previous project. Okay, you have to unlearn those things, and whatever is applicable for the new project, you have to learn that. Okay, so learning is a continuous process. Even after serving 16 years in TCS, I'm still learning, and I will be learning. It is part of my job. I should learn. Once I stop learning, that is my end of my career. Okay. So once that is done, so you will be moved over the period of time, like maybe some 5 years, 6 years down the line. Maybe you will move to the senior developer role, and you will be guiding some of your juniors, right? Like once you now come new to the company, you will be guiding them how to do, what not to do, especially. So those things will be training up, and maybe down the line, 10 years, you will be handing over a team lead for a project. You will be having, it depends, okay, on the project size also. So some projects might have only 2-3 members, and some project might have thousands of members there. So it depends, okay. So once everything is done, I think over the period of time, you will try to understand how the management works, the team size, how we have to map them, how much each project would be requiring, how much team skills is required, and everything, how to manage those things. So once you become the manager, so you will be handling some multiple projects under you. So you will be taking care of those things, like which is going well, what is the things which is going wrong, how your experience can help the project to come over that things or phase to from red to green. Okay, so those things will be going on, and again it will go on. Okay, it is doesn't stop there. So you will have to move up the ladder, go to the next positions. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Preetham. I think you want to. Go on to the next slide.
Huh, that's fine. No. Only this one, I know. See, whenever you look at a slide like this, well, it has some roles and it gives you a notion of a pyramid, right? I mean, today it might look like this, it might look like this, it might look like this in future, but suffice to say that essentially there is always a progression. What the chart shows is all these levels on the left hand side, the competency required on the right hand side, and different kind of trainings that are enabled here, right? Some of these are TCS trainings, some of these are TCS partner trainings, that means Microsoft's of the world and Google and Amazon all of the odd world, and some of these are Tata Group trainings, right? Especially the management trainings. Some of these Tata Group trainings might be from Ross Business Schools, from Harvard, right? So all of those things are there. At every level, we have some other foreign university also attached, especially when it comes to thematic things like transformation, consultative selling, and stuff like that, right? So one is, of course, the technology part of the puzzle. But then, technology is not the only thing, and management is, there is nothing called management, okay? That's like a myth. So you have the technology and you have some of this domain that comes together, which is learning about the industry. Some of it you will learn in the college, something else you will learn when you actually join the workforce. I just want to keep a few things in your mind why I believe you guys are in exciting times. And this is not a sales thing that I'm telling you. You are an AI native batch. That means you are learning AI in the college and going to join the workforce within couple of years of this technology being mainstream. AI works only when you have a brand new technology stack. It doesn't work on legacy technologies, doesn't work on old technologies. What does it mean? It means there is going to be a significant spend from all these corporations, be it airlines, pharmacies, banks, insurance companies, whoever are there, right? And there is going to be a significant amount of legacy modernization programs. These legacy modernization programs are not just converting Java version from one version to other. It also would mean architectural changes. This is a seminal moment, right? Because these moments don't come. It will be there for the next 6 years, 5 to 6 years, and it will take that amount of time for all the legacy to get modernized, right? And by then, the token expenses, when I mean token expenses, AI tokens, right? Token expenses and all of those things will all have shaped out, right? Because end of the day, today the technology costs so much, in future the technology cost will probably go down or increase depending on where it is, right? It will go down if the demand increases and the supply also increases. It will go up if supply is not able to catch up, right? So, fundamentally, the first thing that you have to keep in mind, you are entering workforce at a very good time, right? Because there is a lot to do. Now the catch is, only when you do such a transformation program where there is a lot of modernization involved, including relook at the architecture, the intensity of learning is quite a bit. Otherwise, if you are working on projects which are 10 years ago, which are going to be developed incrementally, then it takes that amount of time for you to get a grip. That will get little squeezed, which is fun in one way, that you will learn something quite quickly and learn it hands-on. Not that you are going to learn it from your seniors who have actually done it by themselves. You know what I mean? So that's the first very important thing that you should keep in mind. That's the exciting part. Second part is AI is multidisciplinary, right? So don't think AI to be only Python, for heaven's sake, no. Try to understand the data structures. Data foundation should be very important. Don't just get worried about data visualization, because generative AI can take care of the visualization, right? You can feed the data and ask nice prompts, and you don't even need to do that. The business folks who actually use the data, they can write much better prompts because they know what to ask it, right? So the data disciplines around metadata management, data discovery, data quality, data foundations, data structures, all of those foundational things, please try to learn and pay attention to those classes, right? Because data is the fuel for AI, right? So that's the second part. Third part is, since there is a lot of noise around AI, the question that might come to your mind is, other than reading my books and listening to my professors, what else should I do? This is my personal recommendation. You remember I started saying that the notion of AI is a multi-layered stack, right? Which goes right from energy all the way to intelligence, right? So let's ignore the energy part because you are not joining a power plant, right? So the lowest level for you is chip. So what is happening in chip is best understood not just in classrooms, but best understood by listening to Jensen Huang. Jensen Huang is the CEO of NVIDIA. Now the good part with Jensen Huang as compared to other CEOs is he is fairly consistent. So if you listen to one video of him and then listen to another video another 1 month later, there is a good part, he repeats some part and then some incremental learning because everybody is learning, by the way, right? So hence, listening to him helps in incremental learning like x plus delta x plus delta x plus delta x, right? Incremental learning. But if you keep on hearing somebody who is the OpenAI founder, I'm not dissing anybody, but I think he goes in different directions. So that might create confusion in your mind, right? So for the lowest level, chip, Jensen Huang. Then let's go all the way to the highest level, intelligence. My view is you should listen to somebody like Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase Bank, right? It's one of the largest ones. And the reason I tell you to go to him is not because you need to pick a leader who talks, who is frequently consulted on different topics, who is well regarded, and who is also investing his own money there, right? So Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan Chase is investing to the tune of $10 billion, right? So that means he is the user of technology, not the creator, right? So he is using all of those. So you talk to a creator and then you talk to a user, right? And then you need to talk to somebody in between. Who you talk to? My recommendation, you talk to Google. So, or you listen to Google. So you should listen to Sundar Pichai. And the reason why I say this is because he's focusing on TPU. So he is in the chip area as well. He is interested. He's focusing on apps. He's focusing on hardware. So he has a hardware and a software and infrastructure play all the way to intelligence, right? And hence, you are able to cover all the stacks. And when you combine them, you have a fair bit of understanding what the hell is going on. And hence, I did not tell you to talk to Microsoft. When Satya Nadella is great, but then he will take you to enterprise use cases, which is good for Microsoft, not necessarily for you. You will anyway learn them once you come in. So for the next 1 year, if you hear these three characters, and I don't want to give too many, and I also give you the reason why I'm naming these three, right? You will get a fair sense of what is happening in the market. Because the catch is, when we are reading our books, that's physical static data. It gets erased very quickly nowadays. The shelf life of a knowledge has come down to a couple of quarters, right? A couple of quarters in the sense 3 months or 6 months, or you know what I mean, right? Earlier you used to learn something and it stays with you forever. That's not the case. So since that's not the case, I don't want you to ignore the foundation of the learning. I don't want to ignore those parts, but also form a habit. And I want to insist upon this word called habit, right? Not mandate, not something because your dad told you so or mom told you so, not because your teacher told you so, but form a habit. Whenever you form a habit, it becomes as normal as breathing, right? And habits are the good ones, right? So that's the second message I wanted to give you, to ensure that you utilize your time very, very efficiently, right? And what are the areas that you wanted to focus on. Third, know one thing, that when you join a company, earlier what used to happen, all the seniors know everything, and you have a you are looking at, oh my goodness, I'm one of the 580,000 people. So first of all, understand that each of our business units are structured much more smaller way, right? We have 50 odd business units taking care of all these things, and from 580,000 you can subtract all the corporate folks out, right? You can subtract all the HR and all those people. The engineering team is much smaller, right? Maybe 500,000. So that's divided into 50 odd business units. So the point remains is, within a population of 10 to 20,000 people, it's a small family that you can navigate within. You are not looking at prove yourself in 5 lakh population. All you are trying to be is a part of 10 to 20,000 people, right? So try to understand, these things are not available in website. Whatever is available in website, anyway, you will figure it out. But I wanted you to understand how you prepare yourself, right? The fourth thing I want you to remember, the key skill is learnability. You will learn some things. You will bring some skills to the table. Learnability is key. That means I have the appetite to learn and pick up anything that is coming new. That adaptability will go all the way throughout your career. Whether you are in TCS now, you join a consulting firm later, you join a bank later, anywhere you go, that part will become very, very critical, right? The learnability. Well, now open for questions. If anything comes to my mind, or based on any question that you ask, I'll probably elaborate any other things that you should keep in mind. But your questions will help me to understand at what orbit you are flying, so that I can both go up and down that and address other possible queries that might have there in your mind. Okay, I'll let HR then continue. Please form questions in your mind and ensure that those get addressed before you leave the auditorium.
Thanks, Chindan. Yeah. Okay, no, this is self-explanatory. I don't want to, again, all of you are able to see, those on the back, right? Okay, let us now, see, you all might be thinking is only about package and etc., right? But there are some other things also that there, with TCS that we would like to highlight. See, we have one of the best health insurance policies that we have is a group insurance policy. And see, personally, I would like to share my experience. When my dad in 2019, he had to go get admitted to the hospital, and we had a bill of almost 14 lakhs, both 18, 19, both the years. Because of this insurance, it got covered completely except for the medical, the non-medical expenses and etc. So you will not find anywhere else such comprehensive insurance policies, for TCS employees. Right? Then we have employee assistance programs. Then I know how many of you heard of IEEE chapter? You heard of it? Right? Yeah. In case you become a member there, then you get up to 3,000 rupees a year. And then you have interest-free loans that is there. That not that moment you get into an organization, you start getting it. You had to stay there for some time. Then you are eligible for some of these things. And childcare. Okay, I think this is for the female associates that is there. I think even for parents, when the father also, we have a few other things. So that is few things which you want to highlight. Okay, fine. Let's hear and read. Let's listen to this. It will be very interesting for you.
Are you waiting to begin your career in a supportive and well-reputed organization? I began my career as a ninja associate in TCS. Though I was very happy of it, I aspired to do better. And at the right moment, digital upgradation assessment was announced. I attended it and I upgraded myself as a digital associate.
When I joined TCS ILP, I had the opportunity to show my passion projects towards the project leaders and the department heads. And using that, I was able to meet the current team and department that I'm working in right now, in research and development.
I joined BFSI unit where I got a opportunity into wonderful project. I was a young talent, but I was identified as a potential candidate for a production support project where I had an opportunity and privilege to interact with experienced individual as well as with vendors directly in teams. I have improved myself to interact with teams. That enhanced to prove myself in the project. I even been into tough situations where I have taken calls and have started initiatives. That has been a wonderful opportunity for me in TCS.
TCS gave us a lot of opportunities and I have chosen to be a part of research and innovation team. After getting into my project, I explored medley of clubs that comes under TCS My3. It helped me to groom myself well and run towards my passion as well.
Okay, now here, how many of you know what are the different packages that we have? Different buckets. All of you aware? Oh, very good. I think Tejusi sir has prepared you well for it. It's made my job easy. Yeah, still we will just see what are each of those. Okay, starting with Prime, that is the topmost one, and then comes Digital, then comes Ninja. Right? How is it different? See, it's not just the package. I think most of you might be looking at the package, right? But then it is different from the work aspect also. So in Prime, I mean, if you can read it, it's you work on more complex project, right? So when you come into an organization and specialized skills that you have and etc. So there is no in Prime what we expect is that you don't need any training. You just directly get into a project and start working. And these are going to be very niche projects that you're going to work on. That for that reason, we have this as the highest package. For an UG, it is around 9.09, and for PG, it is 11.59. Anybody from the PG here, MCA or MTech? Anybody is here? No, all are from UG, is it? Okay. Then we have Digital. So this is the next, this one. Again, it is also very important, this one. The TCS, if you look at it, we want maximum of you here to be at the Prime or a Digital offered people, guys from the campus. Okay, because that is what it is. Not that we don't want Ninja, it is not that, I am not trying to say that, but then our customers know what is a Prime and what is a Digital cleared students and what the offer and what kind of skills they possess. Okay, so still I think there are another 20 days, another 10 days. Okay, I think you had time for your test and etc. 28, no? Yeah. So you have time now under 10 days to prepare. I'll show you the next slide, what is the test pattern and etc. But here it will be around 7 and 7.39. Okay. So these two are the very important one where we want you to come in to that bucket when you come for an interview. Of course, Ninja, as I said, Ninja is also good enough. See, in the current market situation, I would always say you need to have, better to have a job when you are in the campus. Okay, right? So that is what my advice would be. So Ninja also, there are plenty of opportunity. I think you have seen in that video that lady who was talking about it. You have, we can upgrade. There is some assessment. We call it as Elevate program and all those things. So where you can prepare, okay, you go through some trainings, then there will be some assessments and etc. And then you can always upgrade. Upgrade means we don't say it's upgrade digital, it is upgrading your package. Okay, but naturally when you upgrade, you will also have other opportunities that is coming on your way, like a projects and etc. Yeah, this is another video from our CHRO. I think you can just listen.
Hi everyone,
It's wonderful to be connecting with all of you, and very happy to share about Tata Consultancy Services, which has been the pioneer in terms of IT for our country, and today globally we are shaping the technology landscape. Every one of you and your seniors have played a very significant role in shaping this journey for us and keeping us the top IT services providers in this country and also globally. And what does that mean? That each of you have an opportunity to come, shape your career, contribute, and have the empowerment to work on an entrepreneurial mindset to be able to build how the future of TCS. While each of you do these things, the core purpose of us as an organization, which is so very unique, that is of giving back to the society, is uncomparable. And that sort of differentiates us as an organization where we lead with purpose. We truly believe in setting you for success. Embrace the journey, and initial part, be an open mind to take up roles and dirty your hands and learn. And use as much opportunity to create more network and meet a lot more people. And that is how you learn a lot by observing and interacting with people.
Yeah, I think there are few messages that was there, right? Take up any role, then, networking, and, of course, you have to work hard. At least the initial 3 to 5 years are very critical in your career. That's where, it will shape how your career is going to go, right? Okay. Now, I think you will be very keen to know this part. I hope most of you have completed this, right? The registration. Yeah. If anybody has still difficulty, you had a difficulty, you are not able to register, Sanjay is here. Maybe after this session, what you can do is just connect with Sanjay and then have that sorted out. And and you can complete the registration and also applying for the drive, right? Anyway, I'll just explain it here for the benefit of everybody sitting in the other seminar hall also. See, there is something called TCS Next Step, which is the one that you will be using it even after your interview, offer, everything. All this information will come in this particular portal. Okay, so you are joining or any communication that comes. I hope all of you have given your personal ID and not the college ID, right? Anybody has given the college ID here? Yeah, the reason is that your college email ID will maybe get deactivated next year, somewhere in June, July, right? And for us, we need to keep the communication with you. That is the Gmail ID. Today we are doing the drive, but your joining is sometime after you complete your course, that is next June or whenever the course completion happens at your institute, right? So that is the reason why you have to use only the Gmail. I hope all of you have done that so that you don't miss out on any communication that is there. Okay. Yeah, and this is the test pattern. Okay. There is the numerical ability around 25 minutes. Verbal ability, we have reasoning ability, advanced quantitative and advanced coding. See, in advanced coding, there are going to be 2 questions. One is a 35 marks question, and another is a 25 marks question. And you will have 1.5 or 90 minutes to solve it. And you can choose any one of the languages, C, C++, Python, Java, and Perl. Okay, and any of the core engineers here, I am very sure that you would have had C in your or C++ in your curriculum, or you would have practiced it. You can use that, or if you know Python and Java and etc. This is not all. So while you are going to do your program, choose the language that you are comfortable with. Okay, and because that is very important, because you have to compile it here. It is not just writing a logic or something. You have to execute and get the output. Okay. Yeah. Right. So once you have done with your test, okay, our team will anyway come up with the merit sheet, list, whatever it is, how many of you are in Prime, how many of you are in digital, and how many of you are in Ninja. Accordingly, our team will come, our panel will come, and there will be an interview in-person interview. It is not going to be a virtual interview or something. It is going to be a in-person interview. So there, I mean, just to give an additional information, we are going to have 3 people in the panel. One is your technical person. So TR we call it as. Then you have a managerial person, and then you have an HR person. So it could be between 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, and that's how it's going to be. And one advice to all of you is that prepare your resume. Don't do any copy paste. Your friend's resume, you took the point. Whatever that you have done, your project, please highlight it and please be very clear what is your role and etc. that there in the project and what is that you have done exactly. And be, as I think Chiranjeev was highlighting, you also please brush up your fundamentals like your data structures or RDBMS, etc. They are surely going to cover all those areas. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And one more thing. The interview will be done in the skill chosen by you. So when I say the skill chosen by you, don't just say I want a job in AI, so I just put that skill. Not like that. We are going to ask you saying that what is the skill that you are good in? Whether it is AI, cybersecurity, IoT, or it is Python or C++, like that, or VLSI, right? So when you say I am good in VLSI, you say my skill is VLSI or my skill is AI. That means the interviewer on the panel is, you are going to go to that panel. No, we are going to have each skill ke liye we are going to have different panels. And Prime we have a different panel. Then we have for digital we have different panels. For Ninja we have different panels, and skill ke liye we have different panels. So that means each of this Prime, Digital, Ninja will have specific skill related panels. So be very careful when you are choosing or when you are declaring that I am good in this skill. That means you are you have to come well prepared on that. Okay. Anything you want to highlight on the documentation? Anything? Yeah. You want anything? Okay. Yeah. And if at all, once at all you get offer, please accept the offer within 7 days. Yeah. I think there's one more slide. Yeah. So percentage eligibility, I'll just quickly cover. All of you should have 60%, 10th, 12th, and your engineering or masters. Okay. No backlogs when you finally before you join TCS. You can sit for the TCS interview with one backlog, right? One active backlog you can sit. But by the time you come, if at all you get an offer, you have to clear that backlog and you should have the professional certificate. Gap not more than 2 years, that is 24 months. Okay. And it's only full-time course, no part-time course is allowed. Okay. Yeah, people with work experience and then join the course. Again, somebody from MTech, initially they would have worked for 2 years, 3 years and etc. But then they would have come back and joined the MTech course or any other PG course or something. They can always do that, but they will give relevant documents for that. And age limit is between, you cannot go beyond 28 years age. That is another important thing. Yeah. So these are the, I think Chiranjeev was highlighting, saying that the lot of learning resources available in TCS, right? It is one of the things is already highlighted as iEvolve. Then we have something called Ultimatics, then Nomax, Udemy, LinkedIn. A whole lot of resources are available for you. The only thing that how best you use it. See, nobody is going to be behind you saying that do this, do that. This is you have to identify. That's where the CHR was talking about networking. You need to look for the opportunity that which you want to get in, but you have to really work towards it using these resources that is available. Trainings are available. We have a dedicated talent development team who will actually keep publishing a lot of these programs, courses, external, internal. We can talk to a manager and say, I want to do this. You can tell him for aspiration. If it is if it is going to be a paid one, then you may have to check and come back to you. But there's a lot of internal courses that are available. TCS design courses are available, which you can utilize and upskill your skill, upgrade your skills. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to call out on a few things because my colleagues have different personas, right? You met somebody who is basically your senior. So he has walked the same floors. I have not. I didn't have the privilege. I was from Delhi. Then you had folks from talent acquisition team and folks who actually keep the academic relationship. So I happen to be somebody who runs one of the business units. I'm accountable for the overall service delivery, sales enablement, solutions, and innovation for that unit. We are a team of 16,500 people, 10,500 in India, remaining 6,000 abroad. So that's why I said 10 to 20,000 is maximum unit that you will look at pretty much, right? Now, it's people like me or my team that you become a part of, right? So I wanted to share, that's why I stopped at and I tried to share some of the perspectives which is going to be valuable for you. He said a few things. Let me reiterate on some of those things. Number one, we are evaluating you for what you know. But there might be several things that you might need to know, which we take care of once you join. And when I say that, I say that with authority because I'm the one approving all those budgets, right? So when you join our team and we know that these are additional things that needs to be taken care of, we put you through those paces to ensure that you are up to the pace, right? Classroom training, hands-on training, all of those things only do so much. And then when you actually work on live projects for clients, then you understand the remaining things, right? Some of the softer skills, how the real software development life cycles and stuff like that. So in terms of spending money on you, spending time on you, to welcome you, to train you, to nurture you, and to ensure that you hear from us and learn from us and have access to us is our prime responsibility. Because sometimes what happens is people think, why should I ask my seniors? Let me ask my friends who not necessarily have the best data points, because WhatsApp University doesn't work, right? It's good for information dissemination, but not truth dissemination. So that's one. So as far as upskilling is concerned for what you need for the industry, that you need not worry. The only thing we need is your time, right? And as long as you have the time and the learnability that I talked about, there is a significant amount of focus and money that we put on you to ensure that you are up there. The second thing is just be yourself, right? You don't have to feign as if you know something which you don't, because we are testing you for what you know, not what you don't, right? Don't get carried away with this AI. AI is a good technology, important technology, generational technology. It will have its own impacts. It will come at its own pace. The pace is not going to be defined by people sitting on panels in YouTubes. It will be defined by actual investments made by CEOs in these corporations, right? That's the reality. And there are things on AI, there are things beyond AI as well. Third aspect is a lot of things sometimes people don't ask me, so I'll reverse engineer that and tell you. A lot of people feel, okay, there is a big difference between development projects and support projects and testing projects and stuff like that. That's the reason I called out in the very beginning that AI works only on superior or new tech stack, which means that the so-called support will essentially become DevOps. We are increasingly seeing customers are not keeping separate support and separate development and separate core engineering team. It's all becoming SDET, software development together happening, right? And hence, you might be working on problem resolution today and working on design tomorrow and things of that nature. So don't always think that, oh, support is different and development is different and all. Yeah, those disciplines are different. But some of these support and resiliency programs on projects also build a lot of characters in terms of being able to make decisions on the fly, being able to call out for help to other individuals, something that you will need as you grow in the industry in any shape and form, right? The third part is, as far as locations are concerned, I'm just making it up. Maybe all of you are from Shimoga, so you might think, oh, I love Bangalore. I love Hyderabad. I love Chennai. Please don't put me in Delhi, right? I'm just making it up, right? So let me give you some stats, right? In terms of headcount, Chennai happens to be the largest hub, followed by Hyderabad, and closely followed by Bangalore, right? So Mumbai might be our headquarters, but not the biggest center for us, right? It's a significant center because it's a financial district and all of that. Pune is growing quite a bit. So there are enough number of cities for you to choose from. And I believe if you are from this part of the India, you should not have a worry about, oh, I want Hyderabad and they are not giving me Hyderabad. It's a very, very large center. So those things are possible. The other part is try to focus on the work itself and the work content itself for the first few years. Because it is the first 5-6 years which make a lot of difference. And after some point of time, all of you guys will have some personal things also start to come in, right? I'm not suggesting only marriages or anything. It can even be parents relocating, right? So hence it is important that you focus on the first few years, because your persona will be almost like a blotting paper trying to absorb everything that is coming your way. And a lot of things will come your way, right? The other part which was not called out here is we have a very significant focus on mentoring. That is to ensure that you guys are not getting lost in translation, right? Oh, I have been given some task and then my boss only asks what task I am performing. That's all it is. That's not the relationship we are in. You have to understand that the quantum of hiring at a trainee level is significantly different today. We hire much lesser as compared to, lakhs of people that used to be hired earlier. So you are not going to get drowned in I am one of X, and that's why I tried to call out the sizes of the organization as well. So I have no idea what might be going in your mind. The other thing is about compensation. I cannot comment on that. But fundamentally to say, because I happen to approve compensations as well, that we always looked at people's skills, people's caliber, and then the compensation revisions happen. It is not like government job where you have organic defined increments every time. Of course, there will be increments that happens. But there are very clear increments that are differentiated for people who are performing well. On one more thing, I started my saying this, right? You guys will be the future of the nation. And fundamentally, when you join TCS, you will be the future of TCS. 20 years down the line, I will not be in the company 20 years down the line, right? But you are the ones who will carry things forward. So it is our solemn duty to ensure that we answer all the questions, help you on every step, because then you will be able to carry the beacon and the flag forward, right? I'll pause here, take any questions in case you have.
Thanks. Yeah. So if you talk, you can scan this to know more about TCS, right? And there's the link. I know how many of you have. One more suggestion. Please go through. Not only for TCS, I'm talking about. When you're going for an interview, please understand about the company, what they do, and etc. That's very, very important. Don't come saying that I don't know what is happening. Anyway, even though we covered a whole lot of thing here, about what domains we are in, what kind of work, we had a lot of content, and leader also spoke about a lot of things. But still, please go through, come prepared when you're coming for the interview, right? Anyway, for more, please spend some time. If you want to scan this, you can scan, or there's a link, TCS Careers Entry Level. You can go there. And yeah, now you can give your feedback. And also, now we are open to questions. It could be for anybody, Chiranjeev or me, or Preetham or Sanjay. It could be anyone. Yeah, please, please open up. That is one thing that is required when you're in a corporate. Don't keep quiet. Okay, you had to start interacting, networking, and etc. Collaborate. Yeah, so let us start now.
One more thing I thought at that point of time I could not cover is this whole notion that people teach you about communication skills, right? This is what I fundamentally believe in. theoretically, uh, you would want somebody to communicate well, have a grip on the language, articulate extremely well. They know how to simplify a particular topic and, demystify it for somebody else, and has the same skill even in written. In my opinion, everybody is not going to be equally expressive. There might be few people by default, by nature, they are quiet. They are not quiet because they don't want to talk. They are quiet because that's their habit. So I always put premium on content over communication, because I believe that if you know a subject, if you have the habit of reading, studying, correlating what you have learned, communication will happen automatically. If not verbally, at least if somebody tells you to write a page on a topic, you will be able to write that with a reasonable grammar, right? So never ever think that in a consultancy or services business, if I'm a quiet person, I'll be perceived as somebody who don't know. Yeah, that might be a perception for the first few seconds to an individual, or somebody who is a new manager, right? But somebody who has been experienced and has been in the industry would know how to differentiate between somebody being quiet and somebody being thoughtful, right? So don't always think that if you are ebullient enough and expressive enough, that is a strength. Yes, it can be a strength. It is a good thing to have. But at the same point of time, if you are expressive without enough content, then you get exposed fairly brutally, right? So never ever think that I'm a quiet person, I sit in the last bench, I don't talk to people. I have seen people change once they come into the working environment, simply because they will find somebody who will be like them. And then there will be a bond. And then there will also be learning from others. Nobody is a born leader or a born speaker. They just evolve it over a period of time. And these things are organic. That means it takes time for it to develop. That's all. So that's just one more thing I wanted you to keep in mind. For those who personality-wise are a little diffident, don't ever think that the door is shut on you, and you should only focus on research and development projects. Not like that. Okay, we have spoken enough. Questions? I'm sorry, there are a lot of folks who are standing there. Probably it's so warm and so uncomfortable. I'm not sure how much of the messaging has gone, how much you are able to see. So feel free to ask any questions. And even if we have covered it, we'll be happy to repeat it for you. But as I said, your questions tell us what is going on in your mind. And if any of you ask one question, it helps me understand how much message has landed, what are the things that are there in your mind which is of priority. Yeah, I always have seen problem with the first question and then more follow.
Yeah, who wants to start?
No. That cannot be all clear. We know we have covered way too many topics. I don't know what gets covered as a part of their curriculum, right? I have not seen their AI/ML curriculum or data science curriculum and all of that. So I can only relate to what possibly might have been covered. So that's the reason at least one or two questions are important for me to know what they need. Anybody can raise. You guys don't ask questions to your professors? Ah, okay. See, thank you. So his question was, in corporate, is AI replacing human beings or human beings are still required? So, see, I think there are a lot of opinions floating around in the world, especially if you are hearing Anthropic CEO in particular, right? That, look, you will not need a lot of coders. there are few things, misconceptions that I ought to clear. First and foremost, the world is not like just creating an app on the fly, greenfield. That's not the world, in general not. Unless and until you are launching your own business. That's a different thing. Then you launch your own company website in no time and then you figure the rest of the things out. Because it's not the website creation which becomes important, right? So that's number one. Number two, when you deal with corporates, most of these corporates are extremely complex. And the reason they are complex is not because they are large, of course, because most of our clients are large, and hence they will be multinational. They will be operating in different countries. There are so many aspects, including regulations, that make life very, very complex, right? And the way industries also evolve, you have to understand, it is tail wagging the dog. AI cannot determine how industry is going to be doing. AI is going to help the industry do things forward, right? So, let's say earlier, we used to have quality engineering teams, right? Big quality engineering teams, automation teams. In future, if people looking at full stack capability for a developer who would also do testing, in the sense, let's say you do the development, your friend does the testing and vice versa, that's not eliminating jobs. What it does is it redefines roles, right? That's the first thing. Second, you have to keep in mind that what is getting automated is the coding itself. Now, this is where things become interesting. Some of the customers respond to that saying, today I am buying a product. Now, these product companies have board members. They can have PE investors. PE investors are looking for profit extraction. And suddenly, the large companies are realizing that by getting hooked to buying a product, I don't have control over the IP. If generative AI can help me build the product, then why do I need the product, right? So hence, there will be a lot of building activity over buying as well coming in, right? And hence, the product companies will focus on agentification of their products rather than selling the products themselves as SaaS, right? And you would have noticed that a lot of stock market behavior has happened. But remember, stock market behavior happens because of sentiments, not arithmetic. Nobody has figured this thing out, right? Even Microsoft got hammered, not because Microsoft is a bad company, but because somebody had a perception that it is under risk, right? So, and then there is a significant amount of legacy modernization that needs to be done, without which AI will not work, right? And hence, there is a significant amount of effort that are required. Now, because AI is a multidisciplinary stack, earlier somebody would say, I learned only one tool on testing and I'm done. In future, you might need to know multiple languages, need to understand architecture, need to understand how token consumptions happen, which everybody is still trying to figure out, right? That just by thinking of not consuming every time the frontier LLMs, can I have SLMs and can I have caching and so many other strategies that can reduce my consumption, my bill will going to come down. Remember the other part, as they call it. When coal engines came in, it did not reduce things. It increased the consumption of coal, not because it became efficient, right? So when AI can do a lot of things, it will increase the consumption of AI and hence increase the amount of effort that is looked at. However, you have to also realize different countries will use AI in different ways. There are countries like, let's say, Finland or any of those Nordic countries. They don't have tons of people. For them, technology is a boon. For us, we have tons of people, which means that I need to take care of a lot of people. So AI will help in education, AI will help in healthcare, AI will help in life sciences and drug discovery. Those are mission critical things. Much more important than creating some apps. Something that was not possible at a cheaper cost is now going to become possible, right? And hence the consumption increase, the things that were not possible earlier increases, and that keeps the momentum right. So yes, there might be a situation where governments might step in to throttle the pace at which intelligence is being brought in the system. Some governments will do that, especially countries which are large. just enough time to be given for people to learn the technology and move along with life. So everybody is learning. It's a multi dimensional aspect. Now, if anybody stands today, they can always say that 3 years ago, TCS used to hire to the tune of 70 to 80,000 people. Will they hire 70 to 80,000 people? The answer is no. Because you need to calibrate and then hire. So there will be a bit of a, hiring velocity throttling that will happen, and then it will eventually increase as people are able to manage this technology better. Because you have to understand, for AI to work, you need so many things. Energy, chip, memory, so many things are required, not just human beings. So that's a long answer. But these are the different dimensions which are there. And that's the reason why you should listen to those 3 individuals I called out carefully. I didn't want to throw in Amazon there as well, but Jeff Bezos also gets interviewed multiple times and he has fairly interesting perspectives. He answers some things in a very composite way, and most of his sentences are very structured. He doesn't use a lot of filler words. The other part, I believe, will be a lot of core industries will use AI significantly, right? So we are going to see a lot of interesting things happen. My hope and view is healthcare, drugs, education. Those are the ones that will get the maximum benefit, which is important for a country like us. Any other questions? The trick part in doing a 2 auditorium thing is the other guys are just consuming. They have no way to even ask a question. Okay, we'll do that. Any other questions? Yes. See, this PPT does not have, sit down. So his question was that, look, in the college we learn some things, some algorithms, you have done some projects, some of it look like hobbies, some of it look like Mickey Mouse, whatever be it, right? So, because learning happens like that. So the question is, what is the entire roadmap to learning that is there? So the learning path depends on sector to sector. For instance, if you are joining TCS and joining a manufacturing business unit, the tech stack there is slightly different as compared to if you are joining banking, financial services, insurance and all of that. So is there a very clear defined learning path? Absolutely yes. The reason being we have to take care of our existing employees as well, right? So what does an AI explorer mean? What does an AI enthusiast mean? What does an AI specialist mean? What does an AI genius mean? So across all these layers, there are a significant number of courses that have been identified, and the sequence in which they are supposed to learn those courses has also been identified, right? So yes, you will be exposed to all of that.
I think I'll just add to that. The question is that for the interview point of view.
Interview point of view.
Point of view, yeah. See, nothing to worry. It's not that you're now studying now AI next 20 days and etc. Okay, but then in the last 4 years, your academics. That's why I was mentioning your fundamentals, your data structures, or your DBMS or algorithms. They are going to touch upon all these things depending on your project. That you would have done some project in your final year or in the in second year and etc. Right? Then the discussion will happen saying that, okay, what did you use there? So that's how the interviews are going to be go. Okay, it's not that no, they're expecting you, but if you say I know AI, and they will ask you, okay, what is it you know about AI? Then they'll say, you say I know only basic, right? Then they will check. See, it's more of a discussion than trying to find. So how well you you also present yourself in the interview. That's how it is. So don't worry saying that I need to know AI, then only I will clear the interview. No, it is not that. Whatever you know, accordingly the interview go. But yes, your fundamentals, what you study in your curriculum is very important.
See, fundamentally, if anybody has to go to a level in which he or she can independently work on any AI projects, first of all, we are using the term AI very loosely because you can have multiple dimensions. So answer your question directly. In the interview, they check what you were taught and how much have you understood based on what you were taught, right? So what you were taught has two parts, the theory itself and the application of that through projects, right? So they try to understand how much you absorbed the theory and how much you have been able to apply and learn from what you have learned, right? So that's the part, and then the HR and the MR panels, the management panels and others, they try to understand the attitude, the communication, and how you apply yourself and stuff like that, right? That's how you evaluate. They are not looking for, that would have been an experienced professional hiring. Then we exactly look for what is the job description, and according to the job description, is it matching? That's why we never gave the job description to the company, right? The other part is, whenever you look at AI projects per se, essentially you will have multiple things. One is, you will have almost everybody using AI, which means you are using AI tools to do stuff, right? Then you will have build with AI. That means you are using coding assistants to build the coding and then validate if it is making a mistake, is it hallucinating and doing things of that nature. Third is building for AI. So you are actually working on data programs to ensure that the data is clean and regulated and maintained well enough for AI to work on it. And finally, you can work on AI itself, which means AI platforms which are built on top of, so that you are able to access the LLMs more in an enterprise environment, right? So those are different versions of AI. So a lot of people will work on using AI tools. Some people will code with AI or build with AI. Less people will work on data, on the data programs which are for AI, and the final set of people will be working on the real AI programs. So it is a journey. So don't worry about that part. It just takes time because it's a very different kind of an architecture also. It's just not, as I said, just not Python, right? You need to know data, you need to know intelligent choice architectures, you need to understand tokenomics because it's a different consumption mechanism now, right? So how do you ensure that you are not creating a solution which hogs so much of CPU and money that the solution itself doesn't have a return on investment at all?
So be prepared with your projects, what you used, if you say I'm done AI project, etc. I think what is that tools you used, LLM or RAG, whatever. I think.
They try. So they are just trying to understand what you understand so far. Yes.
Everybody has given an instrument. It is from company and a foreign company. They are tripod like this. They are kept in head and they are having a phones in their head. They are recording their daily activities. Why don't know? They are recording daily activities. What about the data? Where it will go? They are paying, foreign companies paying money for that. If they are recording daily data, they are paying some of the amount for the workers there in the market. Why they are recording, they don't know what was the reason. What about the data? May data misusable? What about that data?
That's the reason why, if you look at it, sit down. If you look at it, before generative AI came in, right? So AI is based on data. And hence Narendra Modi's statement, right? That I am not going to export data to import intelligence. That's his mantra of sovereign AI, right? His insistence that I don't want India data to go outside was first put on entities like American Express, Visa and MasterCard. They didn't like it because there was a lot of transaction data that was going in. I mean, if you think about it today, Google can read your emails. It does read your emails very clearly because only then you get ads, right? And so there are already intrusive products where you are not paying anything because you are yourself the product, right? So that does exist. However, the whole idea is please ensure that that data is not stored in external data centers. It's stored in India. That's the first thing. That is how even our biometrics and all those things. Otherwise, how does, for instance, I'm not sure if you have used the digital solution of your Face ID when you go to airports, right? DigiYatra. Not sure how many of you have used DigiYatra, or at least read about it. I use it quite frequently. And that means your biometrics is stored somewhere, right? But it is stored in the country. That is why if you hear Apple's recently launched WWDC, there is a complete section on privacy itself. They keep on saying we don't store anything on the data, we don't store anything on the cloud, it is only used for processing. So all those discussions will go on. Now, on the brain interface, we are currently working on this as a solution to solve real life problems of people who are neuro-challenged. Okay? So it is for those kind of solutions that we are doing that. I told you of one solution. There is another solution that we have used along with Barclays Bank. If you search for TCS and Barclays and search for a solution, and we had done it in Pune, it was our solution. We just did a CSR along with them, right? For people who are motor challenged and neurologically challenged. So some of those things come there. But if you hear Professor Kaku, he is an MIT professor, he will say in future there will be implanted stuff there, and then you think and you will be in the internet on your eye. So those things are, it will take some time to come, but it might be for dementia and those kind of patients which are going to be more useful. But there is a very conscious attempt of India to keep the Indian data inside India, right? That's very, very clear. And we had actually worked for American Express to have what they call as data localization of their entire data lake in India. Okay. 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 So one more question is there. Okay. Okay.
Sir, since 2012 to 2025, there are a lot of changes. Like AI has come, and in one of your slides, you showed that your company made profit of 2.7 billion something. Like everything has changed, but in 2012, the salary level is 3 LP, and even now, the entry levels are 3 LP itself.
Okay.
So how can
Good
you
question.
justify it?
So the number that you saw of 2.3 billion was of AI revenue. It was not profit. Our net profit as per our annual report is 19.8%, right? Now, when it comes to entry level salaries, what we have done is done this stratification. Yes, the lowest entry level salary has still stayed that way because we hire at a mass level. If you look at our overall investment on people, we call them associates, right? Our own talent pool. And if you look at our overall payout to the employees, that ratio typically has never changed. So we did not create margins out of those. We created margins really with operational excellence, not by cutting compensation. Because if you look at it, 98% of our business, right, is services, which means our entire revenue model is indexed to people. Our non-linear business is very low. Our products part of the business is just 2%. So we are not like Salesforce, who first, that guy comes and says, oh, okay, we will change our name to Agentforce. Agentic is so important. We need so many people. And then once the product is done, they fire people, right? So fundamentally, what has happened is that at an entry level, even though you see that things getting frozen, in reality, because I know the reality, because I run the business unit of our own, right? Our compensation structure is much more different when it comes to real projects. And it increases quite significantly once somebody becomes that productive, right? And that is why we came up with this stratified structure of, prime and other things. And over a period of time, you will realize that this is more like a journey. So when you consider area under the curve, and the area under the curve with the total compensation that will make over a number of years, that kind of evens out. So yes, entry level looks like as if it is on the lower side, but in reality, that is not the reason as to how we make profits.
Yeah. Okay, I think your friends want to meet us in person. Okay, if any questions are there, we are here. So you can always,
Yeah, some of us could kind of walk over there and catch us. Yeah. I just wanted to ensure that all of your questions get unanswered. Answered, and then don't ever think that should I ask this question or not, is it politically correct or not. There is nothing called politically correct question. There is nothing that you can ask me and I will get offended.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. All the best. All the best for your interview and the test. Okay, so test and interview.
Okay. We'll go there. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much for attending this pre-placement talk. And on behalf of our training and placement department, we are very thankful to the team TCS. And on behalf of our JNNCE, we are very thankful to the entire the TCS organization. So thank you very much. And I request the students, those who are sitting at the computer seminar hall, the team will visit the computer seminar hall, and they will have some the interaction with you, and we will conclude the session in the same venue, I mean in computer seminar hall. So thank you so much, and I hope that you got the clear the idea about TCS, right? So on 28th, so you have the assessment, so be prepared, and whatever the issues are there or whatever the doubts are there, you come to us, we are there to help you, right? And whoever not received the mail for application submission, so definitely we will receive, so not an issue. All 753 students, they will attend this assessment test, right? Okay then, thank you so much, thanks a lot.